Have you ever seen those special TV shows or movies? You know the ones that are so wonderfully, unintentionally bad, but they bring you so much joy and captivate you, but for all the wrong reasons.
Well, we here at B-Watch Rewatch absolutely live for these underdog gems.
So buckle up, Busters, and please allow us,
Colin
and Cadence, a sibling duo who share a passion for such cinematic excellence, to take you on a wild ride through all the TV shows and movie plots you never knew you needed to hear.
Hi, everybody. It's Colin.
Hi, it's Cadence. I did your trick because you're always like, it's Colin.
I know. And I thought you were trying to act like one of the main characters in our superhero movie today. Like you were going for that, deep,
I get what you're saying.
You know.
That would have been a smarter answer. Yes, it's Cadence.
Yes, it's Cadence.
Take me seriously.
We're kind of switching tones a little bit. Not really, actually. There's a lot of pleather, lots of sexiness. So, like we mentioned last time, we're kind of doing superhero movies over time as time
And
progresses.
we're going in, it's in order. So these are in chronological order of how they were made, the years they were made.
So Barbed Wire was made in 1994?
Barbed Wire was made in 96.
96.
And our movie today was made in 97.
In that beautiful era of 90s movies.
So our movie today is Batman and Robin.
Batman.
I know, I said it.
Batman and Robin.
Barbed wire.
Yeah, I know. Batman.
Batman. I watched it last weekend and I have quoted it legitimately all week long.
There's a lot of good quotes. Lots of good things to quote from this movie.
What I was going to say earlier, though, in reference to you kind of questioning the logistics of all of the set pieces and costume design and everything, was we watched the Val Kilmer documentary last year, the one that's on Amazon that he made from all of his own home movies.
Why do you watch weirdest? You just love watching documentaries about celebrities.
I love documentary. Well, I just in general love documentaries.
I mean, I
don't
love
care
a
what it's about.
I can tell.
Do
Val
not care
Kilmer,
what it's
Pamela
about.
Anderson, Sour Patch Kids, whatever. You're loving it.
The point is that he steps in to play Batman in the third film, and he talked about how it was traumatizing for him because that suit was so claustrophobic. He was like, it was super stiff and it covers your ears, so you can't hear anything anybody's saying. And then
you can't see either.
Get out of it.
The little eye holes are his eye holes are below his eyes.
He's like, you can't see anything, you can't hear anything, and you are trapped. You can't even use the bathroom. It's so claustrophobic. and the boots, add on the the leggings and the boots and the rubber, you can't move. Just dying of heat stroke in there on top of everything else. I was like, that does legitimately sound terrible.
So today we're doing Batman and Robin, and is it just called? It's just Batman and Robin because the one that Val Kilmer did was Batman Forever, right?
Right, because that's where Robin gets introduced. So this is the main focus, is Robin being his partner full time.
Without further ado, let's jump into the movie. Okay, as you guys know, Batman has a lot of different enemies. There are so many enemies of Batman. Why are there so many supervillains and only one superhero? Why can't other people step up and join forces with Batman? I mean, obviously Robin is in this movie, but you know what I mean.
Right. In comparison to Batman, it's not all that impressive, but maybe in other comics, Robin really steps it up and saves the day. I don't know. I can't judge it. But from this movie alone, he is more harm and trouble than he's worth.
Yeah, he kind of just keeps Batman from being his full potential.
Yes, exactly.
But Batman has there's the Riddler, there's the Joker, there's Two-Face, the Penguin. He's got a lot of enemies. This movie, we're going to focus on his only three enemies in this movie are Poison Ivy, Bane, and Mr. Freeze. So that's just to set the stage. And we start the movie off with my personal favorite, just close-ups of plastic butts and crotches and butts over and over and over in quick succession.
In quick succession, it's almost like Alfred should be spraying them with a hose.
He's just got he's got a little poncho on, just holding a hose up them. Another personal favorite thing is that the costumes, it's actually she's showing is Batman and Robin, and their costumes, you guys, actually have nipples built into the costume.
Yes.
big bat nips right in this big plastic clunky costume.
I know that is something that this movie is known for, is the nips on the costume. But I feel like even though it's really cliche to mention it, you cannot not mention it because it's so odd. Like, looking at it,
why did he do that?
I was like, this is really a weird choice.
They got to do, if they're committing, they have to commit.
Right.
So basically we're introduced to Batman and Robin in the Batcave, and we are obviously introduced to a not gay Robin because the first thing he talks about is just chicks love cars and bats and caves. And so like, okay, I get it. It's not a gay duo. He's also got this big, beautiful, over-the-top diamond earring, which I'm thinking like, that's going to get in the way of you putting on your costume, bud.
Colin, he's a real macho man. He came from the circus.
They just really have to emphasize that Batman and Robin are not sleeping together. They basically got a call and they have to go in their Batmobile. And then the Batmobile flies out.
But is it just me, or does it seem like they lose a lot of time getting to this emergency situation? Because the reveal of the cars, they like slowly come up from the bottom. They slowly reveal the car. And everybody's standing around just being like, yep, that's one badass car. And
Meanwhile,
then Robin's
half the
little
building
scooter comes up.
I know. Meanwhile,
like, okay.
whatever's emergency is happening, they're already dead. They're dead. It's whatever's been robbed or broken
said
into.
And done.
It took you 45 minutes to see your damn car rise up from the floor.
There's all that zipping, all that crotch, all that butt. So they're like checking each other out for 10 minutes. All right, you look great. It's time to go.
And the Batmobile is the most inconspicuous car in the world. It's huge. It's clunky. It's so lit up.
No, it's conspicuous.
Oh, damn it. I just went through that earlier. It's very conspicuous. Real quick, while I'm saying it's all lit up, one of my favorite things about this movie is all the purple and lime green neon lights. Everything is lit up all the time in these weird, beautiful lights. So anyway, they've gotten a call. And what did they get a call for?
Well, they have to get to the museum, and not just any museum, the Museum of Natural History, because there's a display where they have the world's biggest diamond, and someone's trying to steal that diamond, my friends.
Batman, a new villain has commandeered the Gotham Museum. He's frozen the Antiquities wing. He's turned the security guards into blocks of ice. He's calling himself Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze.
It's Mr. Freeze, the best character of the whole movie. Oh, he's the best. There's so many things about him we will get into. But I think before we get into that, let's freeze frame for a minute.
I get what you did there.
Mm-hmm. And let's figure out how Mr. Freeze became Mr. Freeze. I wanted to know as soon as I saw him.
I want you to take this moment to kind of develop some compassion for why he's doing what he's doing, because I think you'll find you have a little bit of empathy in your heart for Mr. Freeze.
He might be a nice guy. Like, nice. Get it?
All right, so he was a scientist. They also,
of course, everyone's a scientist always.
Duh, yeah. And they also mentioned that he was like a world-class athlete. I think they were trying to like explain the fact that it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, so he happened to be a world-class athlete and a world-class
You can't have a scientist that has muscles like that. It's impossible. You got to explain how he got those muscles.
They can't not address it for sure. And they're like, yeah, he's huge. He studies super hard.
He's swole as fuck, but he also is smart as fuck. So
and his brain is also swole.
Oh, that's the biggest swole muscle he has.
So he's a scientist. He has a full head of hair. That's important.
Of course.
For reasons that to come. So he has a full head of hair, and he's trying to solve a problem, which is he's trying to come up with a cure for McGregor's disease, which his wife has.
Aww.
He's working in a lab that has a sub-zero pool in it.
Don't ask questions. You're not a scientist. Just don't ask.
It also doesn't have a lid on it, which seems dangerous, but whatever.
What is it? What's the place that comes in and checks safety?
Oh, OSHA?
OSHA. They're going to come in and write you up, bud. It's going to big fine.
So yeah, he's putting something in the lab, and of course he slips and falls accidentally. He falls into the pool. It freezes everything, stops his heart. However, and they also blow right past this, he survives somehow. Nothing else is explained.
Maybe the janitor comes in and sees the pool and is like, oh shit, he fell in, drains the pool, gets him out.
Yeah. So there's no A to B. You have no logistical step from how who gets him out of the pool, how he gets out of the pool, how he comes back to life. Because you also learn that in order to stay alive due to this accident, his body has to be at a sub-zero temperature.
Which doesn't make a ton of sense because if your heart stops,
figure that out.
If your heart stops because you're frozen, but you have to maintain a frozen, it just doesn't make any sense. But you know what? Not a scientist, don't know.
Is your brain full? Didn't think so.
I would figure if your entire insides were cryogenically frozen, they wouldn't be doing anything. So it seems strange. I would feel like he needed to stay alive by being in heat, and his name should have been Mr. Heat, but his body always has to be...
Mr. Warm Me Up so my heart will beat.
Exactly. That should have been his superhero name. But you know what? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. So yes, that's his backstory. And so
he also, I just feel like visually it's important to say why I mentioned his full head of hair is because that's the one side effect of that pool. It does take away all his hair. He's bald as a cue ball. And it also has turned him a glittery blue color.
It's gorgeous. He looks like a big, glittery, gorgeous diamond. Oh, which is kind of makes sense. So that's his backstory. And so that's why he's at the Museum of Natural History, because his suit, you guys, this is another thing that the science doesn't make a lot of sense. Not only does he have to stay sub-zero all the time to stay alive, his suit keeps him sub-zero by running off the power of diamonds.
It's an intricate system.
How? I don't know.
Diamond laser temperature controls.
The most complicated thing ever to keep your body at sub. Just go hang out in your pool.
How did he stay alive long enough to figure out the science of the suit once he gets out of the pool?
You know what? We digress. Too many questions. But he has got to steal that diamond, the world's biggest diamond, to get his suit
powered. Okay. He has to stay alive. Well, also, his wife is still alive. She's been preserved also in this, it's
like a cryogenic chamber.
Yeah, and so she's in this liquid, and so he has to stay alive in order to find the cure for the McGregor's disease.
I mean,
so that's also part of
sweet.
The diamonds that motivate him staying alive, which he's alive to keep her alive. Anyway, you see what we're saying.
Yeah, I get it. He also has a bunch of goons that are very reminiscent of the Wheelers from Return to Oz. They're just ice skating goons, and he's always just creating a little path for them to skate on. And so Batman and Robin, they got this call. They're there to meet Mr. Freeze. He also...
45 minutes later, the museum's all iced over because Batman and Robin have been waiting for their cars to come out of the ground.
And Mr. Freeze, another reason we're talking about him so much is because he's obviously a main character, but another thing he loves to do is puns. His whole lines are puns.
You're not sending me to the cooler.
Everything's a pun. So they come, he meets, he's like,
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
The Ice Age. And they're fighting. You think that Batman and Robin, how are they going to keep up with the wheeling goons?
They're not prepared for all this ice, you might be thinking.
Nope, you'd be thinking wrong. Because they both lay on their back, spread eagle, and they click their heels together. And guess what? Ice skate shoes, those black leather shoes, have ice skates in them.
They have ice skating blades, don't you worry.
Oh, yes.
So... all this is ensuing inside the museum. No cops are there, by the way. No one else shows up there.
Ever since Batman started on the job, they're like, you know what? It's fine.
Let him figure that out. So Mr. Freeze gets that diamond, and you guys, he escapes the museum in a rocket ship. A giant, very icy-looking rocket ship. And he gets out of the museum by breaking through this glass ceiling. And I'm thinking to myself, how did he get the rocket ship in the museum?
Right? That's also my question. I'm like, somehow it got in there in the night with no alarms going off, causing no destruction whatsoever. But the only way they can escape is causing tons of damage by leaving through the ceiling.
You know
I absolutely do not understand
His little icy goons probably sledded it in there. They had it on a big old sled, pulled in the rocket ship through the back doors, and he was like, I'm going to make a grand departure out of this place.
Yes, because maybe that's even better because it was such a quiet entrance that no one knew. But then when he leaves, he's like, oh, I had this in here the whole time.
So he's getting away, and Batman and Robin are like, no way. So they actually use their little harpoon thing.
They have also endless supplies of those harpoon things.
They are like Spider-Man status.
Infinite.
You just don't know where they're hiding him in that suit.
So Mr. Freeze has escaped in his rocket only to find that Batman is inside the rocket. So he uses his sweet, sweet ice gun to make some ice cuffs so that Batman's trapped in the rocket.
Can you feel it coming? The ice cold of space. Ah.
Don't fear, though, because Robin has used his endless supply
His little harpoon. His little
of
harpooners.
harpoon things. He's climbing on the outside of the rocket. There's an extended whole dialogue where Mr. Freeze is explaining to Batman,
At 30,000 feet, your heart will freeze and beat no more.
it takes so long for him to explain this whole thing. Meanwhile, Robin's climbing at the side of the rocket. So this is where Mr. Freeze is like, you know what? You're trapped in the rocket. You're going to freeze to death and die. I'm actually just going to leave. I'm going to take this escape pod and just hop out if you don't mind. So he gets out, and I can't understand the logic of this. He has spent millions and millions and millions
On
of
an
dollars
ice rocket.
on this rocket ship. And was it only built for escaping the museum? And then he's just blowing it up?
Yeah, and also, if he had so much money to spend on this ice rocket ship that he's just going to frivolously blow up with a superhero inside, why couldn't he just buy a bunch of diamonds?
Buy the diamonds! Yes!
Just buy the diamonds.
Just buy the diamonds.
He's
At this
such
point,
a diva. He needs to show off so hard.
his income. We also don't know where it's coming from. Is he self-funded? Is he getting some kind of grant money?
That's another
Where-
part of Mr. Freeze's back, like professional athlete, astronomer, scientist, crowdfunding, venture capitalist.
I can't
It
understand
just
it.
seems
So
really, really bad just to waste a rocket. It doesn't make any sense. Like, that is so much money, and you're just
and
going
he
to have
has
it go up in
a ton
space.
of goons. So, like, are they getting paid? What's their motivation for serving
Why
Mr.
don't you just
Freeze?
Also, you could just freeze Batman and then toss him out the window and keep your rocket ship. Get away.
Literally
Your rocket
about to freeze to death. When he's frozen, just toss him out and keep the ship. But
No.
Mr. Freeze decides to leave the ship, not knowing that Robin is climbing up. Anyway, the short story of this very long escape is that Mr. Freeze escapes with the diamond. Don't worry, Batman and Robin escape the ship before it explodes, but they escape by taking like some of the panels off the side of the ship and making surfboards out of them so they can surf down through the sky. So,
Sky surfing down, and like Batman. This also gives you the first little instant that like Robin kind of had to save Batman. So it's kind of like, oh, that's why Robin's in this movie, because he had to save Batman one time. But they sky surf down. Mr. Freeze gets away with the diamond, and
that thing blows up.
and
So
that rocket
what a
blows up,
waste.
and what a waste! So much material is wasted on that. All right, so after that, just another night in Batman and Robin's world. Easy peasy, another
Just another
Tuesday.
night in
Another
Gotham.
casual night. We're met with this hideous woman who's wearing glasses and her hair up in a bun. So you know she's disgusting. And
I feel like
she's...
it's a good thing no one can physically see me right now, because I might also be wearing glasses and my hair up in a bun hideously.
That obviously makes you hideous. No woman can ever have their hair in a bun and glasses. It's
No.
disgusting. And she's this botanist, as we can tell from her lab, just covered covered head to toe from vines and everything.
There was
you could
any
ever...
mistake. Nope.
You know that she's a botanist. And she's working in what I like to think of as like a castle, like a medieval castle type
Yes.
laboratory, which is really cool.
So we find out she's been sharing her castle lab with another scientist. I guess he's in another floor of the castle, or
She put up an
another
ad on
wing of the
Craigslist.
castle.
I need a scientist castle sharing person with me.
The cost of doing research in this castle is just, I am really losing
Must
money.
love plants.
She wanders into his wing, and sure enough, he is also full of neon lights. Lots of flashing going on. But he's holding a meeting with world leaders.
Ladies and gentlemen of the United Nations and our mystery bidder.
Because he's telling them.
Wow. Secret life of my roommate scientist. She's boggled.
Right. She's like, do I know? Are we having a dinner party?
What's going
Who
on?
are these people? And so he's showing them that he's taking prisoners from the local jail.
May I present Antonio Diego, serial murderer serving life in prison and so surviving
Volunteer.
And he's hooking them up to this machine and
Drilling 3 concentric holes directly into Antonio's cranial cavity. I have created viaducts into the most primitive part of his brain, the limbic system. And now I add my super soldier serum, codenamed Venom, to which I add my very own recipe of steroids and toxins.
filling their brains with plant venom, and it makes them grow into these giant super soldiers.
Interesting.
Duh.
Okay, that makes total sense. And guess what? She is furious that this person under her little plant nose would be using this plant venom to create these monsters. You do not use plant venom to create monsters. You use it to save plants. That's what you use it for. Every botanist knows that. So she's like, A, this is going to cost you extra and I'm taking this out of your deposit. B, how do you know all these world leaders and why didn't you tell me? C, you got to stop doing this. And he's like, actually, no, I don't. And they fight and he pretty much kills her.
Well, he thinks he's killed her, but he chooses like the most inefficient way. She just has like this foldable table set up with all of her plant chemicals on it.
Every plant chemical you'd imagine. It's pure chemist with little plants around it. It's like, that's chaotic work environment.
And he just pushes her over and then pushes the table on top of her. It doesn't look lethal, but I don't know.
Have you had a table pushed on you? A dinner table with glasses of water and stuff? It's a lot coming at you at once.
It's a lot.
Sadly, I'm not good at rejection. I'm afraid you'll have to die.
The scientist is like, gotta kill this woman real quick. Stops his meeting with the world leaders. He's like, excuse me, guys, my roommate, she's such a pain. Am I right? She's always passive aggressive. Goes, pushes a table over this woman, comes back. And it turns out that it's not just any regular super soldier that he created. It is Bane.
We're making the final modifications on Bane right now. We'll have a flawless super soldier out to you tomorrow by overnight mail.
Bum, bum, bum. And the world leaders...
Not the cool Bane of the new Batman movies. Like this big, dumb, oafy Bane who only goes, Bane.
I know. Not the cool Tom Hardy Bane. Something completely different. But I'm loving how the world leaders are like, just chilling.
Oh, I know. There's no barrier. There's no protective. Like,
they're just watching it happen.
Keeping them apart. They're just like, okay, well, this works. Seems like it'll do.
The scientist is like, this is not a good impression. This was not supposed to happen.
So after he comes, like, he wants to go back and check that this botanist is dead. He just wants to check on his work.
He had to go.
Content.
He had to pause his meeting to go kill this woman, push the table on her. Then he's like, shit, now I got to go take care of this meeting. Comes back. Now he's like, I got to go back and make sure she's dead because that was a pretty flimsy table.
Anyway, her body's gone, but not for long.
He's like, because what could have happened? I pushed this flimsy table over. It had all these chemicals.
It landed on her.
I know it landed on her. I saw the chemicals burn a hole in the floor and her body sink through it. No, from that hole arises poison ivy.
You look great. Especially for a dead woman.
And guess what?
She is hot stuff.
Her hair is not in a bun and her glasses are off and she is stunning. And there must have been some L'Oreal Feria mix in there because now her hair is red.
There's the Manic Panic plants, part of her studio.
I mean, literally every single thing on that one baby folding table from Target, everything needed to create the ultimate super villain was on that table. And it worked.
And she does give this very clearly spoken speech about all the changes that her body has undergone. So if you are at all wondering about the science behind her transformation, she makes it very clear.
I think I've had a change of heart.
Oh, quite. Me?
Literally.
Oh.
The animal plant toxins had a rather unique effect on me. They replaced my blood with aloe, my skin with chlorophyll, and filled my lips.
With venom.
Yeah. I'm very clear. Let me emphasize very. Okay. No questions asked after her. She basically goes, I have chloroform in my blood. And then that's
chlorophyll. She doesn't have chloroform. would be a whole different story.
No. Well, who knows? There was a lot of shit on that table. Who knows?
That's true.
So basically, she's like so sexy now that the scientist is like, holy shit, that tragically ugly woman with the glasses and the hair up is now this hot babe with her hair down and glasses off. And I immediately am attracted to her and want to kiss her. He does kiss her. And guess what happens?
Oh, and Jason, one other thing. I probably should have mentioned this earlier. I'm poison.
And every time she kisses someone, they die.
This movie's so fucking stupid. It's so ridiculous.
Because don't you think that if that was the case and there were lots of people you wanted to kill, you would just run up and start kissing people on the lips all the time?
Yeah.
Just be
And like,
dead.
what if you didn't want to kill that person? What if you wanted to get married and have a happy life? That's just a whole nother. And like when
I don't know if plants are monogamous.
does she perform fellatio on men? Do they die?
Oh, no.
Does it go into their pee hole and they die?
I can't. You know what? It's because she's part plant. I don't even think she thinks about sex. All she does is spawn not spawn. What's the word? I'm thinking of bees who are pollinizing. No, not pollinizing. What's it called?
I don't know what you're saying. Pollinizing
when
flowers?
Bees pollinate. It's pollinate. I keep wanting to call it pollinizing, but it's pollinating.
It's pollinating and colonizing at the same time. She wants to colonize her little pollen babies everywhere.
That is really true because she wants a colony of plants. But I'm thinking that because plants don't engage in what mammals engage in sexually, that she doesn't even think about that stuff.
Cadence, she popped out of the ground instantly in little baby things covering her nip. She's acting sexy as possible. Her whole voice changes. She's slanking around. You're right. She might not think about sex, but she knows what men think about and how to.
Exactly. She
Plants are
has
very smart.
enough of like her own physical desire is not for sex, but she knows how to seduce because she's like, I am still part human and I know what the guy's like and I can use that in my favor.
They should have called her Venus Flytrap because she attracts
100%.
those men and then snaps and kills them. That would have been a much better name.
What did you say earlier? That she has that fancy plant puss?
I said she has that sexy plant puss. No guy can resent sexy plant puss.
Maybe her puss is a Venus flytrap.
I was just thinking that. I know. I want to see this part of Poison Ivy.
Hell, I am Mother Nature. And the time has come for plants to take back the world so rightfully ours. Because it's not nice to fool with Mother Nature.
So after that wild Poison Ivy ride where we see her character evolve, unlike Mr. Freeze who just kind of enters, you know, he has a backstory. We're seeing her backstory live action and it's amazing. So after that wild night, we're met at the Bat Estate, the Bat State.
The Bruce Wayne Estate.
The Bruce Wayne Estate. And this is where we're introduced to one of our other main characters. I think our final other main character. She's the last one to be introduced. And we get introduced to Batgirl. Obviously, she's not Batgirl yet.
Okay, it's Barbara. Colin, it's Barbara.
What is with Barbara and Barb and Batgirl? It's so Barbara, Alicia Silverstone.
Barbara is the daughter of my dear sister Margaret.
Uncle Alfred is ancient, so her dad must be 75 years old. You know what? I don't know. I'm not judging, but what school does she go to?
Oxbridge Academy.
Oxbridge, that really, really wonderful Ivy League school, Oxbridge. And she's not like other girls, you guys. She likes motorcycles. She's sassy. She's smart. She goes to Oxbridge. And Bruce Wayne and Robin are just kind of like, oh, this is a firecracker. But you know what? They don't have time to think about it because they've got to go to the unveiling of a satellite. So they're like, you know what, Alfred, you hang out with your cousin, niece, daughter,
niece,
granddaughter,
cousin,
who knows what. We got to go to this unveiling of this really cool new satellite. It's like the talk of Gotham right now.
And Bruce Wayne, as we know, the mythology of Bruce Wayne, his family is incredibly wealthy and he has the Wayne Industries. So he does a ton of charity work. And one of the things he's doing is making this really high-tech satellite / telescope, and he's going to make it available to everybody, the technology to everyone, even people who couldn't normally afford it, because that's just what Bruce Wayne does.
Oh, Bruce, what can't you do?
And he gets, of course, asked a ton of questions. The only question I really want to touch on as part of the press conference is when someone asks,
Brucey, is it true this new telescope can see all around the globe?
And he's like,
just don't point it at my bedroom.
He's funny. He's rich. He's smart. What isn't he? And also, it goes without saying, you guys, that George Clooney forgot he was playing Batman. I think he really thought it was a joke. Like, I don't think he thought this was really a movie that was going to be released.
I think he was trying to play it really cool, and he just played it a little too cool to the point that he like wasn't taking it seriously. The other thing I think is notable is that his acting method is the bobblehead method, and everything he says when he's bobbling his head to make it look extra cool. And once you notice that everything he does with a bobble, and he's just like, hey, bobble.
But not when he's Batman. Not when he's Batman, because he can't move his head in that bat costume.
He can't move his neck. He can't move his neck.
So he's getting a lot of questions, and somebody else shows up, and I'll give you a little hint. She's dressed in green, and she has a pretty plant puss.
She's got a Venus flytrap.
She had a Venus flytrap. Yeah, she's furious about this because it's going to take a lot of energy to create this satellite.
And she's also, I should say, in disguise because, I mean, Poison Ivy cannot just go anywhere looking like the beautiful Poison Ivy seductress that she is.
So she does.
She is dressed up in her dowdy old scientist wear. She's like, I have the perfect outfit for this.
She literally
Everyone hated it the first time.
Again puts her hair up in a bun and puts glasses, and she's invisible. She can get anywhere.
So she tries to get Bruce Wayne essentially to sign an agreement that he's going to stop using so many of Earth's resources in order to build all of his plants and factories.
I have here a proposal showing how Wayne Enterprises can immediately cease all actions that toxify our environment. Forget the stars. Look here at the Earth, our mother, our womb. She deserves your loyalty and protection.
He says, I totally understand where you're coming from. It's just not realistic right now to stop everything because we still need to have alternative methods.
Well, your intentions are noble, but no diesel fuel for heat, no coolants to preserve food. Millions of people would die of cold and hunger alone.
So otherwise, everyone would freeze and we wouldn't have food and it would just be too much chaos all at once.
That's a goal. That's a goal to have. We're going to get there.
Want to make a quick note that when she hands him the gigantic contract that she's printed up for him to sign, it very clearly says recycled.
Is it the one with the flaming skull rainforest thing that she gets him to sign?
No, so she tries to get him to sign the contract to stop using stuff. It very clearly has like this huge watermark that says recycled. So you know the paper for this contract is recycled. Then he's like, why don't you come to this fundraiser we're doing?
Oh, and
it's
that's
actually
the one.
going to benefit the rainforest. And then it's this very bizarre, that's the same thing. He hands it to her, she opens it, and it's like flaming skulls.
It's a flaming skull thing. I was like, who designed this? Who designed this invitation? It's bizarre.
I was so confused as
so
well.
weird.
The optics were incredibly confusing because it's supposed to be like a fundraiser and it's this weird Harley Davidson like Ghost Rider vibe. Who knows? Who knows?
But what we do know is that it's going to be a hella cool fundraiser. And Poison Ivy, well, he doesn't know it's Poison Ivy at this point. It's like, yeah, I'll check this out. I love how she comes to like berate him about the energy that he's using and destroying the world. And then he's like, hey, come to this fundraiser instead.
I also feel like as soon as she saw the fiery skull, she's like, you know what? I'm in.
I know. It's like, here, stop being angry. Come to this fundraiser. And like, how did he have that giant invitation just on hand?
No, right? Because it was huge. It's not just like a little itty bitty thing in like an envelope.
Guys,
it's like a three-fold, tri-fold like poster paper. It's a whole thing.
It's basically like the size of like an old album, like a 70s album. It's that size, but opens
like a record,
three times that big. So this fundraiser, you guys, that Mr. Bruce Wayne is holding, I'm going to give you a little inside information. It's a ruse because the Bruce Wayne estate has donated this giant diamond that the fundraiser is kind of about.
It's a fancy, necklace.
I guess the fundraiser is to worship the diamond.
Okay, no, it gets even weirder because the whole point is they're donating this giant diamond necklace to the estate or to the fundraiser in order to lure Mr. Freeze because you know he needs those diamonds.
Yeah, but what is...
However, they're raising the whole ruse is that the Bruce Wayne estate has donated this necklace and then you're bidding on a date with women. So there's like all of these women lined up, and whoever wins gets to wear the necklace. Like, it's the weirdest combination.
It's just like, what do rich old white men do? They bid on women and jewelry, I guess. Because it's like I guess the winner, she wears the necklace on the date, that they bid, but then whoever gets the highest bid is the winner. It's bizarre, but you know what?
The whole plan to lure him was great. Beyond that, not as much. It gets a little sticky. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
They really did not think out like what the ruse was going to be out to regular people.
Because also they were too busy thinking about the design of the party, because it's an
extravagant party. It's an extravagant party. I will say they did a really good job. Now that Poison Ivy's been invited to kind of like calm her down, sexy Poison Ivy shows up. And you talk about women getting bid on. Well, how does she show up? Yes.
I just feel like maybe you're glossing over how she shows up.
How she shows up is incredible.
Because part of the elaborate set is that there's all these dancers that are dressed up like indigenous people, which is its own problem. We're not even going to touch on that. And then there's other people dressed up as jungle animals.
I mean, it's like a party, you guys. This is a big party.
Yes. And there are a bunch of people dressed up in these giant, pink, furry gorilla suits. Just huge gorilla suits.
Oh, it's a fundraiser because they're saving the jungle, duh. Remember, he said all the proceeds go to that. I was trying to understand the jungle theme, and I was like, it's just a crazy party that everyone likes.
No,
but
I said it earlier. It's to benefit the rainforest, yeah. So, anyway, one giant pink gorilla strides right up to the top of the highest point of the set and slowly starts taking the costume off, doing a little strip tease. What do you know? It's
Poison Ivy.
Sexy Poison Ivy's out. How did she get the gorilla costume? Who was in charge of that? Did she talk to somebody? Did
Bane got it for her.
Did Bane go get it? Like, did they break into Bruce Manor estate and like get it? There's a lot of questions there, but she does know how to make an entrance, and boy, does she. Men cannot resist her. But this brings us to another serious point of the movie, is that when she was murdered, Reeker was a plant and the venom got into her body and chlorophyll is in her body, or form. No, Phil. It also allowed her to like kind of secrete this pheromone, and it makes people horny. And so she's at a place where they're going to bid for women wearing jewelry, and she's got this pheromone. That's like she's struck gold. That's a win-win all around. So she starts secreting that.
Yeah.
She starts secreting that pretty plant puss energy, and every old rich white guy, including
it jumps up from like $150,000 to like $1 million in 2 bets. Like, people are on it. They're like, I will pay anything.
Well, it also gets Bruce Wayne and Robin.
Why not send Junior home early? I've got some wild oats to sow. On the other hand, youth does have its advantages. Endurance, stamina. Forget the geriatric bat. Come join me. My garden needs tending.
They start fighting with each other.
You two boys aren't going to start fighting over little old me now, are you?
And this is what I was just telling Cadence is one of my favorite parts. Bruce Wayne is so determined to get a date with Poison Ivy that he pulls out his Batman credit card. He's got a Batman credit card.
Never leave the cave without it.
And on the bottom it says, Forever, Visa, Batman. And it's like a bat logo. And I'm like, okay, Bruce, you're trying to be undercover, trying to be not known. Why pull out a Batman card?
That's part of it, because he's so under the spell of the pheromones that it's like he doesn't even care. He's going to take out his card anywhere, anytime.
What does Visa think when you're like, can I have a Batman card? Are they like, is this for Batman? Or are you a Batman fan? Because it'd be really strange for, how did he even get that made? Because I think it's a Visa, or he might just have his own bank. But in that case, why does he need a credit card?
It's like from Gotham Bank. So I think he can pull some strings. It's like a city bank.
He's just a Batman enthusiast. He's like, I love Batman. I'm just a real big fan. Make me a Batman credit card.
The thing is, everyone in Gotham is, right? Like, people love Batman.
That's true.
So it's like they're always telling people, like, you don't know, Batman will save us. And so I feel like no one would ask any questions, but I get that it's a risky choice. I get it.
I love it. It's a little Bat credit card. So Poison Ivy rocks the show. Everybody's just so entranced. They're all horny. It's like Eyes Wide Shut down there
Hobbs.
because poison ivy. Meanwhile, guess who's just chilling out, and guess who hears about this ruse?
And when you say chillin', it's the most literal way.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
Let me just sort of set the stage for you. Mr. Freeze, when he's not on villain duty, hangs out in an ice cave.
Like an igloo.
And,
yeah.
And he has like a very casual Mr. Freeze look. It's my favorite thing in the world. It's a glittery embroidered robe.
Which I'm thinking...
with a silk necktie scarf and a little diamond bedazzle pin.
And I'm thinking to myself, if you have to keep your body super cold all the time, why are you wearing a big, fluffy, wonderful robe? But he is sitting on a giant ice cube, so you know what?
It balances out. He's like style, but also practicality.
But he is home teaching his henchmen how to sing, like literally forcing them to sing.
There's that old claymation Christmas video about Mr. Heat Miser and Mr. Cold Miser, and it has a theme song.
I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. Ten Below.
And he's forcing all of his henchmen to sing the Mr. Cold Miser song, and he just keeps going,
Come on, sing. Louder, come on, sing. Come on. Yes, come on, louder.
So when he's just, getting so frustrated with his henchmen not singing right, one of the henchmen, who was not participating in choir practice, runs in with a newspaper. And that newspaper says, hey, there's a big old gala with a big old diamond. Big old diamonds. There's so many diamonds. Guess who's hosting it? Bruce Wayne. And Mr. Freeze cannot resist. He's freaking out. He has to go.
Yeah.
He has to go now. The ruse is working absolutely like a charm. But also...
like a moth to a flame.
Was anyone thinking about, if the henchman hadn't run in holding a newspaper? How else was he supposed to...
How else would he have heard of it? Because he was very engrossed in that whole sing-along.
He was very engrossed in that sing-along. And so the night of, he finds out, coincidentally, through a henchman who has this paper, this was a big old ruse party. Bruce Wayne spent millions to throw this ruse, and what if he never showed up?
It does feel like, what are the chances of him actually, seeing the newspaper? Why didn't someone accidentally send him an invitation? There was a way more efficient way to do this.
He could have gotten a flame
counting
skull.
on him accidentally seeing a newspaper.
He could have gotten a flame skull invitation. Or, literally, he's probably got tabs on the diamond world. He would have had his henchmen know that there was this diamond at this party, but nope, it's a newspaper. Regardless, we're digressing. He gets to the party.
I kind of have to ask, something that was bothering me was the henchmen are in the ice cave and they are freezing at all times. And I sort of feel like, is there another place the henchmen could hang out on their off-duty hours that they can function in a normal way?
They are not freezing always. They're all wearing giant, huge, puffy polar bear style
When they're singing along,
coats.
They're singing and they're miserable because they're singing and
It's part of
freezing.
the song because they're all wearing the biggest, hugest, puffiest down jackets. But you know what? It's sub-zero temperatures, so that down jacket's not doing anything.
It's not doing anything.
So
anyway,
we're back at the gala. Let's just say the whole ruse works, and Mr. Freeze steals that diamond.
All right, everyone. Chill.
There's a big old runaround with it, okay? It's a high-speed chase. Mr. Freeze gets caught by the police.
As high speed as it can get in Mr. Freeze's giant metal spiked car. It's so huge.
It looks like it would be really quick. So, long story short, Mr. Freeze gets caught by the police. Batman's whole ruse with the diamonds works, and he gets put in jail. But not for long.
That's my exit cue.
Well, Poison Ivy realizes that there's a way she can bail out Mr. Freeze and they can work together and both can achieve their goals. Teamwork makes the dream work.
And also Bane.
And
Bane's just kind of following around, but he's like, I hope too.
I should say that she originally does try to use her pheromone sweet
puss? Her sweet plant puss pheromones?
Yes. But Mr. Freeze is like,
Pheromone dust, designed to heat a man's blood. It doesn't work on a cold-hearted. Now, if you please.
So it doesn't work.
Yeah, because
Doesn't
everyone
work on
knows
him.
that when you fall into a vat of freezing cold water and it freezes your body, your blood also goes around. Like, what? He just makes less and less and less sense with every word that comes out. So basically, he's not alive at all, has no blood, but has to stay frozen. I'm still don't get it.
Because when he's in prison, he can only stay in the cold zone.
I know the prison also has a cold zone because they catered him quite well. He's very comfy up in his prison cell. But yes, Poison
The point
Ivy.
is that she doesn't even need to use her wiles because he's like, you know what? You and I both have strengths, and I think we can work together. You don't even need to seduce me. Go ahead and spring me out of jail. Let's do this.
Impressive.
Well, I, my most unabominable snowman, have been impressed by you. In fact, I propose a pairing.
I mean, if it didn't work and he knew it wasn't working, I would still be like, oh, yeah, it's working. Let's make it. Oh, but she probably wants to kill, because at this point, she doesn't want to kill him. She wants to work with him. So she's just seducing him to get him to actually like her. So I'd be like, yeah, it's working. She's Poison Ivy. She's so sexy.
So sexy.
Anyway, Bane, Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze. Teamwork make the dream work.
Let's cool it for now. I've got someone I want you to meet. His name is Bane.
And this team has come up with the ultimate plan. They both feel like they've been wronged by the world, and they both feel like they can do it so much better, and they can just start from scratch.
Kill them, of course. But why stop there? Why should only Batman and Robin die, while the society that created them goes unpunished?
Yes. If I must suffer, humanity will suffer with me. I shall repay them for sentencing me to a life without the warmth of human comfort. I will blanket the city in endless winter. First, Gotham. And then, the world.
Just what I had in mind. Everything dead on Earth except us. A chance for Mother Nature to start again.
So essentially, Mr. Freeze is going to freeze everybody, kill everybody, and then she's going to create plant life that takes over the world, and they're going to be the only two humans. And you know what Mr. Freeze says?
Yes. Adam and evil.
I was going to say Adam and Freeze. But also, Poison Ivy, she was a botanist. She knows that plants can't grow in a frozen environment, right? She knows that.
I mean, there are some hiccups.
Because
I'm not saying there
Mr.
aren't.
Freeze has to live in a frozen world. And so he would have to freeze it in order to do whatever he wants. Meaning, a lot of plants can't grow poison ivy. What are you getting out of this? What's your...
Maybe they're going to do half and half? Halvesies?
Halfsies. She can only go to half of the United States or the world or whatever, and he can only go to the other half. That makes sense.
And he also needs to use... So, you know how the diamonds power his suit to keep him sub-zero?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And that's why his whole thing exists, his whole crew. He's realizing that if he can get his hands on a few more giant dimes, then he can make a contraption that will hook onto Bruce Wayne's giant telescope satellite thing that he unleashed earlier, and then he can freeze the whole world in a very short amount of time.
And again, he can't just go buy diamonds. He has to steal them.
Right.
But he risked his whole... I mean, he went to jail getting diamonds, so this is a big deal to him. And I love how he has to have Bruce Wayne's satellite. It's like this symbiotic bad relationship, like a toxic relationship. One needs the other. Anyway, that's a bunch of hoobala. Hoobala.
A bunch of what now? A bunch of what now?
You distract the bat and bird while I prepare to freeze Gotham.
Well, you know why that dream team of evildoers and villains is making up their master plan. Batman and Robin are in the background. They're kind of figuring out, how can we tackle this in a productive and efficient way? And they're like, I got an idea. Why don't, Robin, you go risk your life to go to Poison Ivy, and then we'll fuck her all over. Oh, that sounds weird. I was going to say fuck her.
Then we'll fuck her all over the place.
No, I meant to say then, like, we'll fuck all this shit up, but it sounded really, really, like, aggressively sexual. So, no, they just know that they'll mess with her and they'll be able to have Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy both go to jail one day. Robin's at Poison Ivy's house.
Well, Colin, I need you to be a little more specific because they're doing two things correctly. A, they're learning how to work as a team, which up until this point has been a huge struggle for them.
Once said to me that being part of a team means trusting your partner and sometimes counting on someone else is the only way to win. You remember that? You weren't talking about being partners, you were talking about being a family. So I'm asking you, friend, partner, brother, will you trust me now?
They have really... it's kind of like newlyweds. They're learning to live with each other. Oh, you're licking your old fingers, huh?
Oh.
Licking the old fingies.
Oh, you can't see that I'm eating.
Colin's literally downing some ribs. Just
Oh, it's
right
so gross. I'm so hungry, you guys. The time difference here is it's food time, my time.
Oh my
That
God.
is so gross. But you're absolutely right. They're learning to work together. But my question is, where the hell did Robin come from? How did he get on this team with Batman to begin with? Did Batman put it an ad?
Colin, they found it from the circus.
But
His real name is Dick Greystone.
But, like,
and
how-
he was part of the Greystones, and he was flexible, and he was quick on his feet.
no, I
and
know
he got
that.
recruited.
I know that. But like, how did they team up? Was Batman at the circus and like, I want that flexible little fruitcake to be on my team? Or did Robin come in and be like, hey, I'm a circus goer. I can help you get out of tough
A
situations.
circus goer or a circus performer?
I'm a
He's like, I love to go to the
a
circus.
circus goer acting. Yeah. Just trying to figure out, how that happened.
I honestly am not 100% sure because it's been a really long time since I watched the Val Kilmer one. Even if I may not have seen the Val Kilmer one at all, if I'm being totally honest
Val
with
Kilmer
you.
and his beautiful lips.
All I know is that that's how he recruits them. So they've struggled to kind of be a team. And Batman's always having to save Robin. And Robin's kind of like, oh, Robin, you're just wasting my time.
He also is kind of like Batman's like older and stoic and mature, and Robin's the more like,
right.
Flamboyant in the way
little
that he's
rebellious
very
kid.
like rebellious. Yeah. So it's just a whole lot of getting to work together. But
So they're trying to kind of hit their stride as a team. But they know that Poison Ivy has already pitted them against each other with her sweet, sweet pheromones.
Oh yeah, they were
they're like,
outbidding each other.
let's-
They were outbidding each other until Batman whipped out that Bat card.
Can't argue with the back card. So they're using her wiles against her. So they're like, let's pretend that we're still fighting each other and that we're still really jealous of each other and that we both want to win her over. And then she'll think that you've defected, that you're so in love with her, you're so seduced by her, and we fought so much that you're finally leaving and you're going to join her team. She'll never see it coming and she'll think she won. Put on some wax lips and sneak into her lair. Not a big
Right?
deal.
The only way she can kill you is she kisses you. She's Poison Ivy, dude. She's got plants, henchmen left and right.
This is another little brief plot point that really had me thinking. She does have to kiss people in order to kill them. I think she also really believes that she has to thoroughly seduce them and they have to want to kiss her in return
Consensual.
in order for that to
It has
work.
to be consensual. That's
because
absolutely right.
There are times when she's a literal inch away from Batman's mouth and she could just be like, and
Give
he'd
him a
be
little
dead.
Nope. Nope.
But she's literally waiting
Her-
until they're like, I want to kiss you
Her
so
venom
bad.
only comes out if they are truly horny for her. Other than that, she can't do it. Doesn't work. Doesn't get activated.
Consensual is not a bad thing. I just think that if you're a villain trying to kill people, maybe their consent is not your first
Yeah,
concern.
I agree.
But whatever.
It's not like Mr. Freeze is going around being like, can I freeze you to death, Gotham? Can I freeze all these citizens? And they're like, yes. But they do come up with that plan, and Robin's now gone to Poison Ivy's castle lair thing. And like Cadence said, he puts on rubber lips to avoid getting a little smooched. Little smoochy
But you
mooch.
don't know that yet.
You don't until Poison Ivy goes up to give him a little smooch. And he's like, psych, rubber lips. And she's furious. So they start going at it. But guess who shows up?
Not in the good way.
Not in the good way. Fighting. And then Batman shows up. And now Batman and Robin are kind of fighting Poison Ivy in her weird castle lair with her little plants. They're trying to
Lots of pools of water involved.
Lots of lime green light and fog coming from everywhere. Then all of a sudden, this beautiful black leather graceful person just swings into the scene. And you're like, who is that?
You're about to become compost. Using feminine wiles to get what you want, trading on your looks. Read a book, sister. That passive-aggressive number went out long ago. Chicks like you give women a bad name.
She says she's Batgirl, and Batman's like,
That's not awfully PC. What about bad person or bad woman?
and she goes,
Bruce, it's me, Barbara. I found the Batcave.
Bruce, it's me, Barbara. I found the Batcave.
Yeah, you're wondering how the hell Batgirl got into this whole situation, how Alicia Silverstone, Mr. Alfred Pennyworth's niece, how she became Batgirl. Yeah, you guys, she logged into the computers at Bruce Wayne Manor, and there was literally a folder that was like, secret Batcave stuff. And then you click it, and it's like, all the Bat files.
Bat archives, yeah.
Bat archives. And so she basically does this thing where she reads all the Bat archives, and her freaking uncle is Alfred. Like, he knew this was coming. He was like, had this whole kind of plan in a way, because she finds out and he's like, well, I got you a costume. I got you a car. I got you. I saw this coming from a mile away. Here is all the gear you need. I know you're not trained in any way, shape, or form. You just like to drive motorcycles. Here, go put yourself in danger. Here's a leather outfit. And she does.
Right.
She goes to Oxbridge.
She
goes to Oxbridge. Of
Come
course
on.
she. But I do love how she's not. There's no indication at all that she has any fighting skills, that she's got anything that you're going to fight against Mr. Freeze and Point. These people will kill you. And you just put on a leather bat costume and you're Batgirl.
I mean, she does love riding motorcycles, and she says she loves the danger. So maybe she's just a thrill seeker, and it does not matter to her, like life or death, whatever. It's just a game.
It just feels like she really got aggressive and inserted herself into a team that did not need her.
But she also, she doesn't really, I mean, I guess suddenly she does have combat skills because she kind of fights with Poison Ivy, but you don't know where those combat skills came from.
There's a lot we don't know about Batgirl. Regardless, you meet this person, and now we basically got Batgirl, Batman, and Robin versus Bane, Poison Ivy, and Mr. Freeze. That's kind of this big climax that we've come to. I hate saying the word climax.
I know.
What would you say the big finale that we've come to?
I mean, I guess climax is the best word.
You say that like,
reluctantly.
So I know you said that so reluctantly. Like, it's the best word.
I guess it's climax.
You know, we've been talking a lot of shit about Batgirl, but she actually does show up a little bit with fighting skills because she does fight Poison Ivy, and she actually kind of does defeat her. So
Barbara does come through for Bruce. She totally does. Well, she also gives her a verbal lashing about feminism and then a physical lashing.
And I also would like to say that Poison Ivy almost kills her by pulling out the smallest little baby plastic. She's like, oh,
plant knife. Batgirl, I'm so scared of you. Look at this knife I have.
It's this. I'm like, Poison Ivy, who are you going to kill an ant? Also, Batgirl defeats Poison Ivy.
And she immediately kicks it out of her hand. I mean, there was not even kind of a fight with it. She brings it out like it's big, tough news, and then it immediately gets kicked, and she's like, okay, well, maybe I didn't think that went through.
It's going to fly out of your hand if you're busy showing it off like that. Get a grip on it, Poison Ivy, and if someone kicks it...
It also feels a little homophobic that she wouldn't try to use her pheromones on Batgirl. I mean, why couldn't she seduce Batgirl?
I know, yeah. Oh, plant pheromones don't work the same on biological females and males. It's totally different. You don't know the science behind it.
Anyway, Barbara, Batgirl, kicks Poison Ivy into a giant, what kind of looks like a giant Venus flytrap. It's her own beautiful creation, but somehow turns on Poison Ivy.
It is a little bit weird that the plant eats Poison Ivy because earlier in the scene, she came out of that plant. So what's going on there?
She makes her giant reveal. Like, Robin walks in to be like, you seduced me, you won, I'm here to serve you. And her flower opens up and she's like, hey. But then at the end, when Barbara kicks her into it, the plant has completely turned and is like, you know what? I think I'm going to eat you.
You know what?
I think I'm going to eat you.
You're failing at this. I love how you can't call her Batgirl. You're just calling her Barbara.
Because Barbara's a wig. Barbara's name.
You can't do Batgirl. So Barbara's got Poison Ivy in jail because, again, even though she defeated her, and we say defeat, and the plant kind of gobbled her up, the plant didn't gobble her up. It just kind of politely held her.
I guess it's kind of sentient. It's kind of a sentient plant. It's like,
it has feelings too. It has feelings too.
I do love you. You were just sleeping inside of me. I don't want you to die, but
I'm a plant. I have wild ways. My mind's all over the place. I'm a plant.
I love your plants on crack.
Just because
Your
it
plant's
has a
hardcore.
lot of different emotional ups and downs, that plant. So this leaves pretty much Mr. Freeze and Bane, even though Bane's really not doing much at this point, you guys. He's just
You
kind
too,
of
Bane.
existing.
You too, buddy.
You too, buddy. Come on, you're doing it. Mr. Freeze is like, you are doing it, buddy. It leaves them to implement this. I said it again.
You did say it, you guys. We have already cut
10 times because I keep saying I have
Turn it
plants
back
on the mind. I have poison ivy and plants on my mind. I keep saying implant.
plant.
I just don't want to say the word anymore. So you
It's
say
okay. It's kind of like the time I forgot to swallow and then I panicked and then it started making real weird noises. It's fine. It's fine. It happens to all of
it.
us.
So sick.
It's left up to Mr. Freeze to implement the plan alone.
There, you did it. That's
There,
really
it's
good.
done.
Alone? Alone? Alone?
Sorry. You too, Bane. Good job,
He's
buddy.
got Bane
You're
with him,
doing
okay?
it.
So, just for the sake of wrapping up this big finale, don't ask questions about how Mr. Freeze got a hold of the satellite and put diamonds on it, was also able to have his goons build some kind of contraption around the satellite that was able to freeze all of Gotham. All you need to know is Gotham is froze over right now, okay? Froze
Don't worry,
over.
though. Because Robin and Barbara are computer geniuses.
Satellites could be positioned to thaw the city directly, but that would take a computer genius.
I'm on it.
No, I'm on it.
Computer geniuses.
Yeah, she went to
it's that
Oxbridge,
big
dude.
and that broad.
She also broke into his computer and got the Bat archives. That's how she became
you're
Batgirl. Of course she's a
right.
computer genius. God.
You're right. You're right. She hacked into the Batcave. You're right. I'm wrong. They are geniuses. So they are able to use the satellite system to reverse the freeze and thaw out all of Gotham, saving all of its residents. It's very tender.
Because it's also not just a freeze ray. It can be reversed to a heat ray, too. And you can kind of have it do whatever you want if you know computers. If and only
If you're a computer
you know
genius.
computers.
Right. I also want to say during this last kerfuffle, someone finally thinks to yank out Bane's, like there's a tube of venom constantly feeding into Bane's brain. And when you take it out, he's no longer a super soldier. And no one this entire film has thought, maybe we should just also unplug this tube.
So that he's just getting a constant stream of plant venom to make him evil, but you just got to pull it out. And I thought he might stop and fall over. I didn't realize his whole body was going to, I didn't realize the venom was like actually physically making his body huge and weird.
Yeah. Do you remember in the beginning when they bring in the prisoner? Because they're doing all of these experiments
he's the
on
super
prisoners, and
skinny
he's the
guy.
itty bitty.
But I didn't know it could be reversed if you pull it out. I thought like the poison
I see.
makes you big and then that's it. I didn't think it was like
And then you stay big.
Yeah, I didn't think it was
I get
like
what you're saying.
Yeah, I didn't think you got to choose, but we learned that now. He's skinny as fuck. He goes back to his
and once
skinny form.
once he's skinny, he's totally useless. Like he can't even begin to try to fight. He's just like, you know what? You got me. I'm done.
Hands up.
There's no fight left in him. So Mr. Freeze is right now because all of Gotham's being thawed. Just imagine how hot he is. And it's killing him because if he's in any other place other than the cold zone, he dies. So he's slowly dying. But don't worry because Batman is still ethical and still has a moral compass. And so he says,
With vengeance isn't power. Anyone can take a life. But to give life, that's true power, a power you once had. So I'm asking you, Victor Freeze, help me save another life. Show me how to cure McGregor's syndrome stage 1. And maybe you can also save the life of the man your wife once loved. He's still inside you, Victor. Buried deep beneath the snow. Will you help me, Doctor?
You were
I
still a
know.
scientist. You were a super smart, super yoked, swole.
joked?
I don't know where that came from.
Joked?
Super. I think I was trying to say jacked and swole and yoked, but it all just came out the wrong way.
But you said it with such seriousness.
Because I was like,
Super joked?
But he was a super scientist. He was a world-class athlete. He also
Right.
had a full head of hair. Don't forget that. So
Don't
he had-
forget that.
So Batman's like, I still realize that you're an incredibly intelligent human. And so
right.
I don't want you to lose that. I want you to live up to your potential, but only in the ways that I let you. Like a truly
I love you unconditionally,
ethical
except for these conditions. So yeah, he's going to put him in prison because obviously he has to. He just froze all of Gotham. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about
Gotta go to
that.
prison.
But he does give him a lab within the prison to work on his stuff.
And Cadence he goes, you're probably thinking, well, won't he just get out again? Won't like Poison Ivy and stuff? No, she's in prison too. She is now imprisoned with Mr. Freeze. And he's in again, that prison is super accommodating because he's in the freeze room. And so he's just going to spend all of his days in ice cubes and ice robes and just work on getting the cure for his wife's disease.
But he also tells her, which is really funny, he like walks into Poison Ivy's cell and he's like,
surprise, I am your new cellmate. And I've come to make your life a living hell. Prepare for a bitter harvest. Winter has come at last.
and I'm like, Mr. Freeze, dial it back a notch. You are working on a cure for McGregor's disease. Can you focus just for a second? When you're done, go ahead and make it miserable, by all means.
And I would think, who is in charge of this prison? Because I think those are the two people you shouldn't put together in the same cell. Like, of all places,
They
just
already
separate
teamed
them.
up
They already teamed up
to
She
take over
broke
Gotham.
him out of jail. Why would you put
So
them
true.
together? It's so ridiculous.
So
and
true.
also, don't be so aggressive, Mr. Freeze. You guys have to be cellmates. You can't just start off on the wrong foot. At least ease into it. But
And I don't think she's lost any of her powers. Like, now that I'm really thinking about it, she is part plant. All of her blood has been replaced with chlorophyll. So she could still technically use her pheromone powers and like seduce the guards or whatever. Like, there's nothing stopping her
well,
from
they
still
probably know
using her
now.
powers.
Batman was like, guards, probably put on masks because she releases her plant plus
Maybe so.
pheromones and it'll get you.
Maybe so.
It'll get you like that. But I agree. She could at least do the other prison mates. Just give everyone a good time. I don't know. But I think if you're like anyone listening, you're kind of wondering like, okay, that's really great of Batman, but why would he be so accommodating to Mr. Freeze? Like, why not just put Mr. Freeze in jail? Why does he have to give him a lab? Why does he have to do any of this shit for Mr. Freeze? He doesn't owe him anything. Well, it turns out that Alfred Pennyworth has the same disease that Mr. Freeze's wife does.
McGregor's stage 2.
McGregor's stage 2. So Batman is getting something out of it because if Mr. Freeze can find that cure, Alfred can be cured.
I also think it's important to play the sound clip of when he tells Mr. Freeze he's going to give him the chance to cure McGregor's. And he goes,
Take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
because he's dying, but he also happens to have in his superhuman cold suit armor 2 vials of medicine. Don't worry about it.
So it's
Don't
like
worry
both
about it.
everyone's kind of secretly nice. Everyone's just kind. They just got off on the wrong foot. Everyone secretly
They
wants to help
really did.
everyone
It was
else.
all a misunderstanding.
I mean, the point of this movie is that everyone should just help everybody out. We're all in the same boat. Be helpful. Don't be a freeze ass. Be a cool ass. Oh, cool, freeze, kind of the same.
Be a freeze ass. I was really like, where is he going to go with this one?
I was trying to think, like, don't be a Mr. Freeze, be a Batman, but I was trying to say it in some kind of fun, punny type way, but it didn't really work out.
No, but it's okay. I get the spirit that you
don't be a
for.
freeze ass. Be a bat ass. Like a badass.
Oh, that works better. That works
We'll
better.
figure it out. I'll get there.
That works better.
So Gotham saved, everyone's happy, and that's the end. I just want to know what's next for Batgirl, Robin, and Batman. What's their next adventure? It just shows a couple shots of somebody banging on a keyboard, a lot of like computer noises, and then everything is fixed. It's just an easy way to save the world.
It's sort of like you've written yourself into a corner. You've created this like super elaborate plan, but then you have no idea how to get out of it. So you're just like,
computer genius.
Then the computer geniuses step in and they totally take care of it. No worries. Because
that's pretty much like, what exactly happened. I mean,
it was such an elaborate plan of like bouncing rays off satellites all around the world. Like it was a whole elaborate plan and there was no way to unravel that. And so it was just all of a sudden like,
computer genius.
Yeah, Oxbridge taught me. I'm a computer genius.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thanks to you all.
done, Bruce.
You too. Well done.
This is actually a really fun movie to watch.
Oh, it's so fun.
It's so campy and ridiculous and over the top and badly acted and everything. It is fun. It's a good time. I would check it out.
I was going to say that the one sad thing is that this movie sort of dropped Batman off the map. Like when Batman first started and Michael Keaton was Batman and Tim Burton was doing the movies, they were super duper popular. They had done super well. The Val Kilmer one, not so much. It was still performing okay. This one did so badly that nobody attempted another Batman movie until Christopher Nolan came back with Batman like 10 years later.
Yeah, I think this would have been a fun movie like on its own had it not been representing this superhero kingdom that so many people like. It's like Batman. It's like you can't fuck with Batman. Like, but if you had just created a random movie of a superhero and put this, it would be really good because no one's holding it to that expectation. You'd just be like, this is a fun, weird superhero movie.
Yeah, maybe if you just made it some generic made-up superhero because Batman's supposed to be tortured. He's supposed to have been like through this really tragic life, and he just is not like that at all. He just bobbles right on through everything, just as carefree as can possibly be.
Carefree little bumblebee.
You know, Dick, sometimes counting on somebody else is the only way to win.
Excuse me. I believe I'm the one who kicked Ivy's botanical butt. Yeah, that was me. I did it all by myself. That was me.
Who was the most underrated character in your opinion, or a character that should have gotten more screen time?
I feel like the obvious answer is Alicia Silverstone, so I'm not going to go with that. I enjoyed every second she was on the screen.
Yeah, she got it all. She's not underrated. She was hugely rated.
Okay, I actually know for sure. I'm going to go with the scientist who is in the basement, who's subletting the basement lab from Poison Ivy. I want to know where he came from. I want to know the contract he
His
signed.
backstory. How did they
What is he
become
doing?
little co-inhabitants of one old castle lab? That's very true.
How did he get into the game of trying to create super soldiers? I just want to know, like, what got him to that point. I would love to know more about him. I was genuinely hoping that when she killed him, he also would somehow come back as a different kind of character. So I was bummed that he was just dead.
My favorite underrated character that I also want to know his backstory is Mr. Freeze's right-hand henchman, okay?
Yeah.
He's sitting there, he's organizing the sing-a-thon, he's completely getting Mr. Freeze whatever he wants, running all his errands, and Mr. Freeze literally froze him for going in and doing his job. He literally went in to say, like, Mr. Freeze, there's a giant diamond that you might want for your damn suit, and Mr. Freeze freezes him. Does he get defrosted every time? Is he always being frozen?
Because they only have 11 minutes or they're dead.
Yeah.
They set that up at the very beginning. If someone's frozen for 11 minutes, they are dead meat.
Right? And he's just always running around making Mr. Freeze's life so easy, helping him with the spaceship, the rockets, everything. And I just want to know more about him and, just want to talk to him for a minute.
What's the most unbelievable thing in this movie that already requires a suspension of disbelief?
I don't want to go the easy answer because we talked about it at the beginning. But again, I have to emphasize that the Batsuit would have nipples. I still just don't grasp any superhero being like, I want my super chest to have nipples. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it does feel like if you're going to follow that logic, you're going to have a peen and balls. Because it's like, if you're going for the detail.
You just have a little VPL, a little visible penis line just on the... I would say that, well, it kind of goes hand in hand. The Batmobile / how the Batmobile rises to every occasion very slowly.
Yes.
That just seems to be
how they lose so much precious time.
They lose so much precious time. And also just the whole concept of the Batmobile is like you're trying to be inconspicuous. You're a superhero and it does everything. It flies, it shines, it's super fast. It goes on ceilings. Like the most unbelievable thing is how that automobile, if you even want to call it that at this point, how it operates. Yeah. How much money and time would you have to put in that? Because there's even a point where little bat wings come out the side and like shit and like hit the tires. Like there's a lot going on with that car.
I also want to do the more obvious thing, which is something we already talked about, which is like, why is Mr. Freeze spending literally billions of dollars on rockets and whatnot when he could just buy all the diamonds in the world, whatever. But
maybe they're not for sale.
That route.
Maybe they're not for sale. I mean, the Hope Diamond's not for sale, really.
I mean, I guess, but is building a rocket the answer?
Just rob a Zales.
But I'm gonna go with something kind of similar to your answer about more screen time. I got very curious about Mr. Freeze's henchmen as well. Like, what gets you into that line of business? What amount of money is worth? Like, I mean, every time he goes to rob the museum or whatever, right? Like, you know that death is on the line. You know that someone's going to kill you. A policeman's going to shoot you. You're going to get killed by Batman and Robin, whatever. And you're completely okay with that. You're completely okay with living in the cold cave. You're completely okay with chatterboxing your teeth day and night.
Teaching the rest of the crew how to sing. Like
being yelled at, singing louder. But what's the pay? Like, I can't get behind... what the advertisement for that job is. Like, wanted henchman, must be cold all the time, must be willing to die for me, like all of those things. But what's the price? Like,
I'm
price?
assuming that if Mr. Freeze has enough money to buy a rocket that he blows up just to kill Batman, he has enough money to pay his henchmen pretty handsomely. Does that make up for the really hostile work environment? No, I don't know. No. There's got to be a work-life balance, and right now it's not a work-life balance.
I mean, it feels like they're roomies with him, and I feel like maybe that's blurring the lines. That's all I'm saying. I
absolutely agree. What is the one thing that would have made this movie better?
More.
Get it out there, girl.
Well,
you can do this.
Because I was originally going to say Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze, like more of their partnership. Because I was so curious about, like, once you started asking the questions of, like, well, if the world's frozen and no plants are growing, like, that whole shebang.
How does that dynamic work? Yeah.
I started wondering, like, what really was their dynamic, and what did they both hope to get out of this? And were they attracted to each other? And did they plan on repopulating the planet? And is he still producing semen? Is it frozen in there? If he doesn't have any blood, he may not be able to have children.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that's probably not possible. Just a wild guess that you can't have kids.
Because remember when he cried and his tear turned to ice and then just shattered and blew away?
Oh, that's a painful image when you think about getting pregnant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's gross. That's so nasty.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so I'll say that. I was going to say something else, but now that I've gone this deep into this hole, I'm just going to stick with it. More of the partnership, more of what they would have gotten out of it.
I think the one thing that would have made this movie better, and I thought it as soon as I saw it, was more giant flaming skull invitations to jungle charity events. I want to see where that got made, who made it, the time that went into it, the money, because this thing was a giant flip book of a skull, and it was to raise money for the jungle.
For the rainforest.
So I just think that everybody should have a giant invitation like that. But I also, that kind of leads me into what I actually wanted to see more of, was that crazy party, man. That jungle party with the everything.
For sure. I could have watched that scene for hours.
Give me giant gold gorillas that come out and turn into Poison Ivy all day.
And all of those Tarzans with the really terrible wigs, those were also
so
just
good.
Amazing.
I want to see more of that on my screen right now.
That would have been great. I think if you could step out of the movie universe for a second, it would have been really fascinating to see the production design of those invitations and who on the team
who did that
came up with that.
Who was like, this makes sense. No one gets invitations like that. But it obviously wooed Poison Ivy over. She was like, this is one fucking well-made invitation. This is one well-made invitation.
I was trying to get you to sign this contract, but you know what? I'm going to go to this party instead.
That's all I care about.
Good idea. How would you explain this movie to someone in one sentence?
I thought about this long and hard because there's a lot of ways to explain this movie in one sentence. Lots going on. But I came up with unimpressed dude who doesn't realize he's a superhero defeats a pun master and a plant puss.
Pun master and plant puss.
Pun master and plant puss.
The bobblehead who bobbled his whole head all the way through.
I don't even think George Clooney realized he was in a movie at this point. I'm not even sure if he did or not. But
okay, I don't know if I told you this, but I know I told you we watched like a 30-minute documentary afterwards about it, and they talked to everybody who was involved in it, and they all realized it was not great. However, one thing I learned was that George Clooney couldn't get out of his contract with, or like the season wasn't over with ER, and so he was filming ER every single day.
That's why he was tired, dude.
And then coming in at night. And yes, and doing Batman, I'm like, of course he bobbled his head. He's probably falling asleep.
He's so tired. Oh, remember he was just the hottest thing on ER. It just made him. He just became such international sex symbol.
Oh
and
my gosh,
still don't really know why.
Hair.
Maybe it's the salt and pepper because he's handsome, but I don't get it very much.
People love him. It is a thing.
Okay,
All right.
Cadence, what would your sentence be? One sentence.
Mine is new life partners navigate bringing a new child into their home in the midst of climate change.
That's pretty good. An unwanted child, by the way.
A child no one cares about.
A child that
she was
no
always
one-
sneaking out of windows, and I'm like, Barbara, no one asked you to come. No one's your guardian. You don't have. You could walk out the front door. Wayne Manor's humongous. No one's watching you.
I always try to like sneak out. I put little like sheet ladders down so I can look really cool and sneak out. But
when you come and
nobody-
visit me, all of a sudden all the screens of the windows are gone. I'm like, Colin, you can just leave.
Well, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week for a real doozy.
All right, bye.
Partners?
Partners.
We're going to need a bigger cave.